Hi everybody, in today's class we are going to discuss the 5 kingdom classification, okay, which was given by Robert Whittaker, okay, Robert Whittaker, Robert Whittaker's 5 kingdom classification, 5 kingdom classification, okay. Based on the criteria, Robert Whittaker gave 5 kingdom classification. What are those criteria? Let us see. So, criteria like cell type, and number of nucleus based on the nucleus, and mode of nutrition, and the cellular level of organization or tissue level of organization or organelle system of organization. So organization, based on organization, okay. These are few criteria which were given by Robert Whittaker. So cell type, okay. Cell type means whether that cell is made up of single cell or more number of cells, and nucleus, whether the cell is having nucleus or not, okay. Based on that we name them as prokaryotic and eukaryotic. And mode of nutrition, okay. Mode of nutrition, there are two types of nutrition, autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition, okay. And even on heterotrophic nutrition we find what? Saprophytic nutrition, parasitic nutrition. And organization, whether the cell is made up of single cell or more cells. So cellular level of organization, tissue level of organization, and organelle level of organization. So all these criteria taken into consideration, Robert Whittaker classified the organisms into 5 kingdom classification. Okay, now we will be dealing some more details about it. So these were the criteria given by Whittaker, okay, taken into consideration. These were the criteria. Now we will sum up them and we will understand. First one is cell type, second one is nucleus, mode of nutrition, organization. Okay, again one more. Cell wall, presence or absence of cell wall also was taken into consideration. Okay, so we will sum up and we will learn. Now we will move from lower to higher. Okay, lower to higher. First one. Okay, cellular organization, mode of cellular organization, okay. Cellular level of organization or mode of organization, okay. So first we will take it as, in simple word, complexity of cell. Complexity of cell means what? We know that there are prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Okay, prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. And all the prokaryotic cells, they were grouped under monera. Okay, all the prokaryotic cells, they were grouped under monera. So based on the complexity of the cell, we divide it into eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells, and all the prokaryotic cells, they were grouped under monera. Okay, and next level How next criteria what was considered was complexity of organism, complexity of organism, whether the organism is made up of single cell or multi cell. Okay, that is complexity of organism. So we have what, two types of cells. One is unicellular and another one is multicellular. If the organism is made up of single cell, we call it as unicellular. If the organism is made up of many cells, we call it as multicellular. Okay, these are the organisms. Multicellular organisms or unicellular organisms. Okay, complexity of organisms are unicellular organisms, otherwise multicellular organisms. And this unicellular organisms and eukaryotic cells or eukaryotic organisms. Okay, unicellular organism and eukaryotic organisms, they were grouped under protista. Okay, protista. Prokaryotic cells, monera, and eukaryotic cells or eukaryotic organisms, they are under protista. Okay, and the next criteria which was taken into consideration was mode of nutrition. Okay, mode of nutrition. In this, okay, there are three category again. Mode of nutrition. There are three category. Okay, there are three category. First one, some of the organisms, they synthesize their own food and they are grouped under autotrophs. Some, they cannot synthesize their own food and they depend upon decay method. So they are grouped under saprotrophs. Okay, saprotrophs. And some, they cannot synthesize their own food and they depend upon others. They are known as heterotrophs. Okay, so based on this mode of nutrition, autotrophic mode of nutrition, saprotrophic mode of nutrition and heterotrophic mode of nutrition, based on that nutrition, okay, they were grouped under plantae. Autotrophs, all the autotrophic organisms, they were grouped under plantae, and all the saprotrophic mode of nutrition which were showing saprotrophic mode of nutrition, they were grouped under fungi. And all the heterotrophic nutrition, they were grouped under animalia. So this is how they were segregated into three criteria or three different groups. Okay, on the mode of nutrition. So we saw monera. All the prokaryotic cells, they come under monera, and all the unicellular eukaryotic cells, they come under protista, and all according to mode of nutrition, they are grouped under certain headings like plantae, animalia, fungi and animalia. Okay, fungi and animalia. Okay, now we will see some of the details about this five kingdom classification. Their characteristics, mainly their characteristics. Okay, what kind of cell they possess. So based on the cell type, these monera, they are unicellular. That means they are made up of single cell. Okay, monera unicellular. Protista is also unicellular. Okay, unicellular. But fungi, they are multicellular. multicellular. Plantae, they are multicellular. They are multicellular. And Animalia too, they are multicellular. Okay, they are multicellular. Okay, based on the cell type, Monera, they are unicellular. Okay, they are made up of single cell. Protista, they are unicellular, made up of single cell. And fungi, plantae, animalia, they are made up of many cells. That's why they are multicellular. They are multicellular. Okay, now based on the presence or absence of nucleus. Based on the presence or absence of nucleus. Okay, whether they have nucleus or not. Monera, they do not have. So nucleus is absent. Nucleus is absent. Protista, they have nucleus. So nucleus is present. Fungi, they do have nucleus. So nucleus is present. Nucleus is present. Plantae, they have nucleus. So nucleus is present. And even animals, they have nucleus. So nucleus is present. Okay. So based on the nucleus, Monera, they are not having nucleus, and all Protista, fungi, plantae, animalia, they have nucleus. So nucleus is present. Nucleus is present. Okay, next, whether they have organelles or not. Whether they have organelles or not, based on the characteristics. Okay, we will discuss. So organelles, presence or absence of organelles is also one of the characteristics. So Monera, okay, all the bacteria, they come under Monera. So bacteria, they are known as prokaryotic cells. So organelles may not be present. Organelles may not be present. So it is organelles are absent. Okay, Protista, organelles are present. Fungi, organelles are present. Okay, plantae, organelles are present. Even animalia, organelles are present. Okay, animals, they have organelles. Plantae, they have organelles. Fungi, they have organelles. Protista, they have organelles. Monera, they do not have organelles. Okay, they do not have organelles. Next characteristic is whether cell wall is present or not. Okay, whether the cell wall is present or not, based on the cell wall. So Monera, they have cell wall and made up of what? Peptidoglycan. Peptidoglycan. They have cell wall made up of peptidoglycan. Protist, some protist, they have cell wall. They have cell wall. Okay. Fungi, they too have cell wall made up of tough complex sugar molecule. Tough complex sugar molecule known as chitin. The cell wall of fungi, they are known as chitin. Okay. And plantae, we know that all plants, they have what? They have cell wall. Okay. And the cell wall is made up of cellulosic cell wall. Animals, we know that animals, they do not possess any cell wall. Okay, so absence of cell wall is the characteristics of animals. So cell wall is absent here. Cell wall is absent. So based on the presence of cell wall, Monera, they have cell wall made up of peptidoglycan. Protista, some of the protists, they have cell wall. Okay, not all, some. Fungi, they have cell wall made up of chitin. And plantae, all plants, they have cell wall made up of cellulosic cell wall. Animals, they do not have cell wall. Okay, if we see another characteristics, what is that characteristics? That is nutrition, mode of nutrition. If we see how they obtain the nutrition, okay, then Monera will be having what? Some they will have what? Autotrophic. Some they will have what? Heterotrophic. heterotrophic. Okay, autotrophic, heterotrophic. Okay, autotrophic, heterotrophic, and some they will have what? Saprophytic. Saprophytic mode of nutrition. Protista, they too have autotrophic, heterotrophic, and saprophytic. Okay, and heterotrophic here, they also show what? Parasitic mode of nutrition. Parasitic mode of nutrition. Okay, they are autotrophic and heterotrophic. When we talk about heterotrophic, they are also parasitic and they show what? Saprophytic mode of nutrition. And fungi, only saprophytic mode of nutrition. Fungi, they show saprophytic mode of nutrition. Plantae, we know that all plantae, they show what? Autotrophic mode of nutrition. Autotrophic mode of nutrition. Animalia, all animals, they show what? Heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So these are the characteristics. When we are talking about this 5 kingdom classification, we need to know what kind of cells they have, okay, whether nucleus is present or not, and whether the organelles are membrane bound or not, and whether they have cell wall or not, and what kind of nourishment, okay, how they depend for their food, whether they are autotrophic or heterotrophic or parasitic, saprophytic. So these are the characteristics. In next class we will deal with Monera in details. Monera in details. Thank you so much.